Good morning, children. We have two new people in our class this morning. We have Susie.
Hiya.
And we have Frederick. Say good morning, Frederick.
Good morning.
Susie and Frederick are going to lead us in our worship song today. So get up off your seat and let's worship.
Through you, I can do anything. I can do all things. 'Cause it's you who gives me strength. And nothing is impossible. Through you, blind eyes are open. Strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible. I'm not gonna live by what I see. I'm not gonna live by what I feel. Deep down I know that you're here with me. And I know that you can do anything. Through you I can do anything. I can do all things. 'Cause it's you who gives me strength. And nothing is impossible. Through you, blind eyes are open. Strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible.
Guys, guess what? Mud. It's so fun. Come, let's go play in the mud. Come on. Mud fine. Did you all enjoy playing in the mud? Oh, I love mud. Do you guys all love mud? Raise your hand. Anybody who loves mud. Who loves mud pies? Who loves quadding and getting full of mud? Pick me, I love mud. Well, you know what? I think Jesus likes mud too. Today we're going to hear a story about him getting his hands in the mud. First, we're going to read the story in the Bible. So, John chapter 9, beginning at the first verse. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man that was blind since birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who has sinned? Did this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God be made manifest. I must work the works of him that has sent me while it is day. Night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle and anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, Go wash in the pool of Siloam, which by interpretation means sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. All right, we're going to stop right there. So the whole point of our story today is nothing is impossible for God. So let's talk about what happened. There was a man, and from the day he was born, he could not see. He had never seen sunshine. He had never seen mud. He had never seen flowers blooming. He had never seen the colors of the birds. He had never seen what light looked like. He was totally blind. He lived in a dark world all the time. And since he lived in a dark world, he could not go out and work as his parents and maybe his brothers and maybe his aunts and uncles could go out working, because he couldn't see to do a job. So he sat alongside of the road, and he had a little cup in his hands. And when anyone would come by, he'd rattle his cup, rattle, 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 and he would say, alms, alms. And sometimes people would stop and put some money in his little cup. And that is how he would take care of himself and buy his food and buy his clothing, is begging from other people to help him out. And one day, Jesus and his disciples were walking down the same road where the blind man was sitting alongside, and he's rattling his cup and he's calling out, alms, 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 because he's feeling hungry and he knows he's going to need some supper soon and he needs money to pay for it. And so as they're walking along, one of the disciples says to Jesus, he said, Jesus, who sinned that this man was born blind? Did he sin, or did his mom and dad really do something really awful? Because in those days, if you were sick, they thought that was sin, and that was your punishment for having been sinned. And so Jesus looked at his disciples and he said, you know what? No, this man hasn't sinned, and his mom and dad haven't sinned either. This has happened. He was born blind so that I could show you my glory. What an amazing thing. So Jesus walks over to the blind man, and he kneels down beside the blind man, and there's dirt because it's right next to the road. And back then they didn't have pavement roads, they had dirt roads. So Jesus knelt down in the dirt road and he spit and made clay. He made clay. And the blind man is probably thinking, what is that? That sounds like someone spitting. Why is someone spitting next to me? And then you know what Jesus did? He took this gobs of clay that he made from spitting in the dirt, and he puts it in the blind man's eyes. So here he goes. He gobs it on. Oh, gobs it on. Oh, lovely clay mask. Oh, I wasn't planning on having a clay mask today, but nothing quite like a clay mask. So he gobs it on, and then the poor blind man's probably thinking, what on earth is this all about? I was asking for alms. Like, I wanted alms. I didn't want mud in my eyes. I didn't ask for this. And Jesus said to him, go wash in the pool of Siloam. He's blind and he has mud in his eyes. How's he going to get there? But somehow he managed to find someone to help him along his way. So he went to the pool of Siloam. Where's my pool? Right here somewhere? Oh yes, right here. Oh good. It's a little bit cold. Ooh, it's a little bit cold today. But he washed in the pool of Siloam. Are we ready? Are we going to wash? You let me know if I get it all off, because I don't want to open my eyes with some on there. Oh. Did I get it all? Oh, no, I don't think I did. Oh. Oh. Nope, not quite yet. Whew. Ah, did I get it that time? That feels better, doesn't it? I think so. Just let me sit here. Oh. Oh. That was interesting. I can see. Oh, I can see. Ah! And you know what? After he'd washed in the pool of Siloam, he could see. Jesus took an impossible situation. He took mud and turned mud into eyesight. What do you think would happen if we took mud? What would we have? We would have mud pies on our eyes. But Jesus turned it into eyesight. Remember, Is there one other time in the Bible? Think back, way, way back to the beginning of the Bible. Is there one other time you remember Jesus? You remember God playing in the dirt? Let's think about it. Yes, way back in Genesis, at the very beginning of time, God knelt down into the dirt and he formed man. And then he breathed into man and he became a living soul. Jesus did the absolute impossible. He turned dirt into a living man. So remember, when whatever you're going through and your problem seems really hard for God, it's not impossible. If he can turn dirt into a living man, if he can turn mud into eyesight, then he can do absolutely anything.